Deleted Peppa Pig episode, Snouts for Breakfast, which was never showed on TV. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos. One day, Daddy Pig got up before dawn. He wanted to surprise the family, to prepare a perfect breakfast like in the best hotels. He quietly tiptoed to the kitchen, tied on his apron, took out a frying pan and whispered, "Today will be perfect." A little later, Peppa woke up. The room was strangely quiet, as if the world was holding its breath. She stretched, yawned, and suddenly felt something terrible. "My snout!" She ran to George's room. He was sitting in bed, trembling, his face smooth, like a doll's. "Peppa, I can't smell my dinosaur." Mummy Pig came out of the bedroom. Her eyes were full of horror. What is happening?" On the stove, a frying pan was sizzling. Inside it, 4 snouts, pink, crackling, with thin golden brown edges. And next to it stood Daddy Pig. On his face was a brand new snout, pink and carefully sewn on with thick black thread. He smiled. "Breakfast is ready, family." Deleted Peppa Pig episode, The Painting in the Basement, which was never showed on TV. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos. One day, while playing with her toys, Peppa heard a strange sound coming from below. From the basement, creak, scrape, soft tapping. "Probably just the wind," she whispered, but her heart pounded louder. Curiosity overcame fear. Peppa tiptoed down the stairs and, with a trembling hoof, opened the basement door. Darkness, cold, dust swirled in the air, and in the corner of the room hung a painting. On it was a pig, tall, grimy, eerie, armless. Peppa gasped and ran upstairs. "Mummy, there's, in the basement, an armless pig. He's in a painting." "What painting, Peppa? Come on, show me." They both went down together, but now the painting was empty. "He was there, I swear. Maybe you just..." And then a sound came from behind them. They turned around sharply and saw the same armless pig. But now, he had hundreds of arms. Deleted Peppa Pig episode, Peppa Pig's Cursed Christmas, which was never showed on TV. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos. On Christmas Eve, Peppa's family was getting ready for the holiday. They decorated the tree, baked cookies, and left treats for Santa. But at night, exactly at 3:33, the clock started ticking backward, and Peppa woke up from a strange chill. George was standing by the window, whispering, "Santa came, but he's different." Something was in the yard, tall in a red cloak, with claws and hollow eyes. It was the spirit of Christmas, to whom Grandpa Pig had promised one perfect holiday in exchange for the family many years ago. Now it had come to collect the debt. Mummy and Daddy vanished, leaving only shadows on the walls. Frost and whispers crept from the fireplace. The spirit opened its sack and said, "You are part of Christmas, forever." By morning, the house was empty. Only the milk and a note stood by the fireplace. "Thank you for a delicious holiday." Deleted Peppa Pig episode, Full Moon in the Forest, which was never showed on TV. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos. One day, the pig family decided to go on a joint picnic with the wolf family. In the morning, Daddy Pig called his best friend and shared the idea. They immediately agreed, and both families set off for the countryside. "Look at this beautiful forest, the perfect place. Fresh air, "The scent of the woods," said Daddy Pig. "We're so glad you invited us. It's nice to finally get out into nature," added Mummy Wolf. The men lit a campfire. Mummy Wolf served homemade pastries, and the wolf children played tag. But when the sun disappeared behind the trees, the atmosphere changed. The wind grew sharp. The temperature dropped. Somewhere in the distance, a lonely creature howled. "It's just a fox," said Daddy Wolf, but his eyes glinted with a strange light. "Let's stay the night. We brought tents," suggested Mummy Wolf. "It'll be so fun under the full moon." Mummy Pig hesitated, then nodded. At 12:03 a.m., Peppa woke up to rustling sounds. Peeking through a slit in the tent, she saw the silhouettes of the wolves. They were standing with their backs turned, heads lifted to the sky. Their bodies twitched, stretched, bones cracked. Then came the howl, long, ravenous. Daddy Pig burst out of the tent. "What the—" But he didn't get to finish. A figure lunged from the darkness and sank its teeth into his neck. "Thanks for the dinner and the warm welcome," whispered the head of the wolf family. Deleted Peppa Pig episode, The Cursed Television, which was never showed on TV. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos. One cold, deep night, Peppa woke up to the sound of static. It sounded like the television. "But I turned it off before bed," Peppa thought. She left her room. The screen was flickering, and in it she saw her own reflection, but with empty eyes. "Peppa, come closer. Look." A hand stretched out from the screen, dark, trembling with long nails. It grabbed Peppa by the leg and started to pull her in. Peppa screamed. Mummy Pig woke up from the noise. She rushed in and unplugged the television. The next morning, Daddy Pig said, "It must have been a glitch last night. Everything's fine now." He turned the TV back on. On the screen was Peppa. She was staring at them with hollow eyes and whispered, "Why didn't you help me?" Since then, the pig family moved to a new house, and legend has it that the old television still glows. And at night you can hear the screams, "Why didn't you help me?" Deleted Peppa Pig episode, Don't Step in the Puddle, which was never showed on TV. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos. Peppa once loved jumping in muddy puddles. It was her favorite thing to do. But one day, everything changed. In an episode no one ever saw on TV, it was pouring rain. Peppa woke up alone. George was gone, and so were her parents. Outside, everything was flooded. The yard was drowning in strange purple puddles, deeper than usual, far too deep. Peppa stepped outside, let out a happy snort, and jumped into the first puddle. But instead of a cheerful splash, there was a dull, sucking sound. The puddle pulled her body down deeper. Hee, that's not funny," Peppa said. "Let go." But the puddle only pulled harder. Suddenly, a face rose from the water. It looked like hers, but with no eyes and a stretched mouth. It spoke. "One jump, and you stay forever." Shadows began rising from the puddle. First Daddy, then George. "Jump with us, Peppa. We're family." The puddle dragged her even deeper, and then she began to change into a monster. The last thing she saw was the sky. Since then, in every episode, if you look closely at the puddles, you can see a face. And if a child stares at the screen too long, tiny reflections appear in their eyes too. Small, wet, and calling them to jump.